The courtroom was packed, the air thick with tension that no cameras or flashes could capture. Yet it simmered and boiled, palpable in every whispered breath and shifting gaze. When the judge cleared his throat and announced aloud, "Hailey Bieber is expected to testify this week," a ripple ran through the gallery. Every eye darted toward the defense table where Diddy sat motionless, not a twitch or blink revealing the storm beneath his composed facade. He leaned toward his lead attorney, whispered something inaudible, and reached for a glass of water with a trembling hand. Yet instead of drinking, he set it down slowly, like fragile ice, then slammed his palm on the wooden table just once, loud enough to silence the murmurs, even the scribbling court sketch artist. The judge paused, raising an eyebrow as Diddy's lawyer gently touched his forearm to prevent further outbursts. Across the room, prosecution attorneys exchanged glances. They had not anticipated Hailey's involvement so soon, nor at all. This was no media stunt, but a legal ambush, one that threatened to redefine the trial's course entirely. Outside, TMZ headlines exploded. Twitter, now X, ignited with rumors. Hailey Bieber subpoenaed in Diddy trial. Reporters rushed to phones. Paparazzi swarmed courthouse parking lots. Inside, Diddy stared ahead, expressionless to the public but trembling with the weight of the moment. This wasn't a mere name drop. It was a threat. Hailey Bieber's testimony meant she had seen, heard, or lived something potent enough to topple an empire. Before the subpoenas, before court dates and exploding headlines, there existed a single grainy photo from a private event few knew of, never meant to be seen publicly or in court, kept hidden like a loaded weapon awaiting the right moment. The photo showed a dimly lit yacht deck bathed in golden fairy lights, blurred outlines of celebrities in designer gowns, champagne glasses glinting. Faces were mostly indistinct, except for Hailey, off-center in a silver dress, caught laughing, or wincing, hard to tell. Beside her, barely visible, leaned a man. Some said Diddy, others weren't sure. Prosecutors were confident enough to build a case around it. A crack in Diddy's otherwise airtight inner circle of whispered, unproven parties. For Hailey, that photo fractured a carefully curated world where she and Justin had guarded their marriage from tabloid storms, hiding silences behind curated smiles and puppy posts. But Hailey remembered that night, the deck, the music, the alien feeling, and someone's warning, "You don't need to get involved. You didn't see anything, just enjoy the party." So she stayed silent for years, until the photo returned. In an anonymous envelope with a single scribbled line on the back, she was there. Justin saw it first, paling, speechless for 5 minutes before asking, "Do you remember this?" Hailey walked away without answering. The next morning came a call from her attorney. The prosecution wanted to talk, not gossip. Real questions, real testimony under oath. Conflict erupted because Justin and Hailey knew that stepping into that courtroom meant revealing not just a photo, but everything. What she saw, felt, said, and did not say. Across the city, Diddy's defense team prepared for battle, having long scrutinized that photo, attempting to bury it. But it was out, and the rules of the game had irrevocably changed. Hailey's silence could no longer shield anyone. At 7:12 a.m., a knock came. Hailey sat at the kitchen island, staring into a cold cup of untouched coffee. Upstairs, Justin paced, trying to manage a tense conversation with his manager. Their usually serene home felt like a glass box ready to shatter. Hailey opened the door to a man in a navy suit who handed her a sealed envelope. "You've been served, ma'am." No pleasantries, no eye contact. Inside, the subpoena from the state of New York demanded her presence at court for the People versus Shah Comas. The cold, clinical language struck her like a punch. Justin took the envelope, read it, and dropped it on the counter. "You don't have to do this," he said quietly. "They can't force you to destroy yourself for someone else's mistakes." But Hailey wasn't sure. The truth was tangled. She hadn't just seen something, she'd ignored something, let it slide when it was safer. Now her silence felt like a predator with teeth. Upstairs, she opened an old journal, flipping to a shaky, uncertain entry from that night. "Something felt wrong. I shouldn't have stayed." Meanwhile, downtown, Diddy's legal team erupted in fury. The subpoena was called a stunt. Motions to quash it flew. But Diddy remained silent, jaw clenched, betraying a rare crack in his armor. Hailey stood silently that night, eyes tired but steady, knowing deep down this wasn't about a party or photo. It was a line in the sand, a choice to no longer look away. 3 days later, the courtroom brimmed, energy electric and suffocating. Every seat filled, every breath held. Hailey was awaited, but Diddy was restless. Before court, his team filed an emergency motion to exclude her testimony as irrelevant and prejudicial. The judge quietly reviewed while lawyers argued heatedly. Diddy sat stone-faced, eyes fixed on the door as if daring Hailey to enter. This was personal. The prosecution pushed back. Hailey was a credible observer tied to a contested event. The defense feared exposure, not irrelevance. The motion was denied. The bailiff called, "Your next witness, Hailey Bieber." She entered quietly, heels barely, making a sound. Her eyes never scanned the room. She didn't need to see Diddy to feel his presence, a storm pressing on her back. She swore to tell the truth, and the courtroom held its breath. For the first time, Diddy looked nervous, not angry or smug. Hailey sat composed, fingers nervously clasped but face calm. A stillness born of having relived the moment countless times. The defense lawyer circled, questioning if she might misremember. But Hailey's clear, unshaken answers and detailed testimony pierced the courtroom's heart. She described seeing a young, scared girl repeatedly trying to leave, only to be brought back, warned not to get involved. When pressed, she named a man in Diddy's circle telling her to ignore what she saw, to not ruin your night. She confessed feeling trapped. The courtroom was thick with tension, every word a nail in the coffin of silence. The defense attorney tried to undermine her credibility, but Hailey's unwavering truth and the weight of the photo evidence swayed the jury. The judge allowed the photo to be displayed, Hailey laughing or wincing on a yacht deck, a blurred but unmistakable figure beside her, Diddy. The defense objected, but the judge overruled, leaving the jury to decide. Hailey's tearful but firm testimony forced the courtroom to confront truths long buried. The judge's gavel echoed as court adjourned. Reporters flooded hallways. Security tightened. The trial's atmosphere shifted irreversibly. That evening, an anonymous envelope slid across the prosecution's desk. A letter from Justin Bieber pleading with Hailey not to destroy herself, but to speak her truth. The letter's emotional weight shook the prosecution and promised to reshape the trial. Word leaked. Social media exploded. Diddy's team scrambled to contain the fallout amid an escalating public spectacle. The trial resumed with new energy. Hailey's testimony had cracked the facade. The courtroom, the media, and the world watched as silence shattered and truths emerged. The storm had only just begun.